This is the movement. The movement.
What is your desire? Where is this feeling of wanting to help or do more? You're retired now. Why not just worry about your own life and just, fuck the world?
Well, I hear that. First of all, thank you for having me. Mm-hmm. And, I've been watching the progression of your art form for some time now. And I think the motivation for me basically is self-validation.
Okay.
I feel that in order to feel relevant and to feel that I'm here on this planet for something, I have to do something. I have to be a part of something. I have to identify with something that helps me to release my inner essence. So I was like beginning to learn my direction, to learn my truth, right? Which progressed through the turbulent 70s, right? For me,
were you one of those activists then during the 70s civil rights movement?
Activist? Depending on what I was acting on.
Okay.
No, but I was like a little wild in the 70s.
Okay.
The early 70s.
Because you're not that older, so in the 70s, you were in your teens.
The 70s, I was in my late teens, and early 20s.
Okay.
I had my first child at 70 and 72.
Okay.
And my second child in 76.
Oh, what? So
and
you
my
are
third child
okay.
in 80.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were 4 years apart.
Okay.
All through that 70s period. I was like.
So instead of being community involved, you were building communities.
Yeah. I was probably doing that.
You was enhancing community.
And then I did a little entrepreneurial stuff. On the neighborhood entrepreneurial stuff. Right? So,
the legal one?
No, it wasn't very legal at the time. But it was like it was it gave me a perception of that, cause I didn't really have that perception about finance and money and how powerful money can be. In the amount, because I was taught in high school, get a good job, get a city job, do this, and that's that should be your calling. So I had no concept of big business. Koch brothers and Rockefeller stuff.
Okay.
I didn't have that concept. I couldn't grasp that kind of money until I started dabbling and seeing how fast money can come in other ways, which this is how they do it, right? Because I was raised in the military, and I had a very narrow perspective of right and wrong, and good and evil, and good girls, bad girls, and all that kind of sex and all kind of stuff was a little abstract because it was framed by a culture that was very regimented. Military culture at that time, especially for black people, was a very regimented structure. So. When I got, my father died in 60, I moved to the city and went to start going to public school in maybe 61. And then my whole fundamental viewpoint of life began to unravel. Because that's not what, that military, aspired to be like the white man, integration was what you, and I wasn't feeling integration. What's wrong with me being with my people? But my parents were of the thought that you have to assimilate to be valuable, right? And that's what the kind of.
Why do you think that that's still an issue? Because you're talking about something that happened in the 60s with your parents training you. Why is that still a hindrance, a hiccup in our community? Why are we still looking for validation?
Externally. We're looking for validation externally from another culture. Because
Well, okay, and let me take that back. Not we. why are our folks,
culturally. When I say we, I'm talking about
still
culturally.
looking for validation, still looking for acceptance, still looking for, seclusion, still looking to be accepted and say, good job, well done, you're okay, you can come over.
Because we don't have the structures, since slavery, we didn't have the structures to facilitate that.
Okay, so we didn't have the structure, but I almost can guarantee that there were more people like you who was okay with being excluded. So, like, when you have folks like that, you have folks like yourself, you have folks like myself, why doesn't that become more of the masses of people who are cool with being free from the bondage of
seeking external validation and compliance to somebody else's norm.
Right, so why aren't those masses on the rise up?
Well, because I don't know. That's a difficult question to answer. Mm-hmm. My point of view about it is that indoctrination is so powerful. Mm-hmm. It is so powerful, especially when it becomes cultural and traditional. Right?
Which is your beef with religion.
Oh, don't start me. I was going there.
Especially with me, because I love to take it to the Bible. Yeah, I wanted to start the session off with prayer.
I might have reluctantly participated in your ritual, right? Because I'm used to people forcing me into their rituals. But back to your question, I think that since we were brought here, right, and we didn't have after a generation or two of slavery, we didn't have a frame of reference of who we were, what we did, who we are. And I know people talk about this all the time. And that's where, what started what facilitated our journey to self-awareness and self-understanding was the fact that when we were subjected to brutality, unmentionable brutality, someone said, here's a Bible. Okay, you're going to go through shit now, but if you behave and you act like we say, you're gonna be up in the heavenly, with the white angels and the white Jesus and the white rest of them, right? So
I'm laughing because we have our own philosophy when it comes to
I don't beget people their
their point of view.
Their point of view, or their and I understand that religion is a powerful sedative. Right?
Ooh. Say it again. You said religion is a powerful sedative.
Yeah, I mean
they have sedatives. Okay, we were educated folks now, so we know what these words are. Sedative knocks people out.
Well, sedative makes you calm and accepting.
It knocks you the fuck out.
Yeah. There's different levels of sedation, but sedatives basically are Valium or something like that. It's like
to dull the senses.
To dull the senses.
Right.
So you don't. So you're more malleable.
So I
can condition you, control you better because.
So that's what religion was.
I think initially that's what religion was. Have you ever? And my allergies are kicking up for you. Excuse me. Have you ever read the Willie Lynch letters? Have you ever read that?
Yes, I have.
Okay. What do you think about that? Not that I'm putting it back on you, but
no, not at all. I believe that, like the Bible, like the Quran, everything is messages, and I believe that was a message that was revealed of a system that was created to mentally enslave a culture, and it was done under a certain amount of years. And it was set forth that in this systematic plan that I'm going to create and share with the other masters so that they can follow this doctrine, we can now, with this letter or with this concept control a race for the next 17
years.
And then by the time this umbrella gets revealed or gets removed, they would have been so fucked up and so damaged anyway that it won't matter.
Answer your own question. You're answering your own question.
I mean, just because I'm asking the question don't mean I don't know the truth.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm just saying, for me, that's so fundamental to our cultural journey. I mean, and it's not that I'm against religion, but I understood how, for me, how religion was used to subjugate us, right? How it was used to sedate us, how it was used to make us malleable, make us able to be, to conform, in spite of the brutality that was done in this name.
So, what do you find any beauty in religion?
Oh, I think religion. I find beauty in spirituality.
Okay.
Religion to me is structured. Okay. Spirituality, is something that you don't have to use fear and intimidation to make people fall in line. The words like obedience. The words like that penalizing, or you're gonna if you don't do this, you're gonna reap the harvest.
But don't you find that those not necessarily rules, but those guidelines in creating structure is creating structure? Like, what's wrong with structure? What's wrong with having parameters so that you know that the fire is hot?
Society needs structure.
Right.
Humanity needs structure to survive.
Okay.
But when you use structure to oppress one group of people, all right, or when you use structure to facilitate
one group of people, religion controls every culture. Because there's all these different types of religion that's supposedly still serving this one God.
Okay, and you know what? I think that it started from a basic place and evolved and branched out to all the different different expressions or articulations of the spirituality, because that's what religion really basically is. For me, is an expression of spirituality. But when you interject fear and intimidation, it becomes not about uplifting the beauty of the spirituality. It becomes fear of the consequences of not following these rules.
I wanted to talk about that when you brought that up the other night, because as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, we were taught, or in our teachings, we were always trying to learn the difference between reverence and fear, and serving the Creator and being scared of what is going to happen if you don't fall into line. But that's not the fear, that's not the reverence, that's not the love that the scriptures are teaching. That is a part of the religious confusion that the one who's delivering the message, the pastor, the minister, the priest, whatever title he has, the context, who wants to who wants to manipulate the content and control the content. So now you're hearing rules, you're hearing.
And how does that uplift me spiritually? How does that fulfill me spiritually?
Because if you hear the truth is, don't be afraid of the consequences of doing wrong. The truth is the reverence or fear. And I'm gonna give you an example, and I'm gonna come back to the answer. My children don't fear me because they scared of getting a whooping, even though they are scared of getting a whooping. They fear me out of not wanting to disappoint me.
Okay. So in that same vein. If they're calling, if what they're emotionally driven to do is something that might not be in your perspective of what they should do, right? And so are they able to fulfill their calling, or are they bound by not trying to disappoint you and have to let their calling go so that they don't disappoint you?
I think you as a child, you fit your calling into the structure that the parents are still instilling in you. So as the Creator being my parent, being my father, being my my go-to. My fear is not of, well, let me not do wrong so I don't burn in hell. Let me not do wrong so I don't disapprove. It's more of, I don't want to do wrong because you are wonderful and everything you provide and give me is beautiful, and I'm so appreciative of these blessings that you provide for me that I'm good with walking that straight line.
I'm not, I'm not taking away from that. But what I'm saying is that can be manipulated. That is a very dangerous situation.
Okay.
Because once like I was saying about the little boy that was the preacher and he got 6 years old, he didn't know what he was saying, but he was waving the thing and talking about sliding across the stage and all that, right? Once you become indoctrinated into that mindset, right, then that becomes your reality. That becomes your fundamental reality. And and a lot of times you sacrifice learning, you sacrifice experience, you sacrifice expanding your points of view because you feel stuck in those parameters, and that's what I think has happened to us culturally, right?
So do you think that that's a way that we manipulate ourselves? Because I sometimes feel like we are these new age educators that, we're not constricting ourselves to this one doctrine that we learned growing up in the Baptist or the Pentecostal or the Catholic or the Jehovah's Witness or the Muslim. Now we're reaching for insight and we're reaching to learn all these different things. Do you think that we use that as an excuse to not conform to structure, so that we're allowed these free spirited, like, well, I'm independent and God gives me free will, so I can make a decision to do this because it doesn't feel right or it feels right, and God gave me will? Do you think that we're confusing and manipulating ourselves to still do wrong or justify?
Well, when you say wrong, what do you mean? Like, what? How do you define wrong? Something that goes against a cultural norm, something that goes against societal norms, and because there is, there's validity in wrong and right. Wrong and right, in any society that has to that intends to flourish or intends to to exist, there has to be parameters. There has to be wrong and right. This is what you do, and this is what we have agreed to do as a group, right? To propel our societal path, right? Now, that's agreed upon. That, we agree upon that context, and this is how we're going to do it because that's in the best interest of what our basic human desire is, which is survival. Survival propels all this shit to me, right? Survival, racism is a tool of survival. It's a strategy of dominance. Capitalism is a tool of strategy of dominance, a tool of survival. When we came out of the caves, when especially the Europeans, when they came out, because when we came out of the caves, we could reach up and grab an apple off a tree, a pear, we were in lushness. We didn't have to kill you to keep you from eating my shit. All right, go get my own shit. All right. When we came out of when they evolved out of the caves, they were like, well, before they even went into the caves, it was like
they were already camped.
They were out there doing, because it was cold, it was forbidden. The environment dictated how they acted. So if I got a cave, right, I find a cave. So I'm gonna, I find the cave and I got a mate, go drag it in there by the hair like they cavemen that they showed us the cavemen did with the big club, right? I got a cave now. I got some fire. I got warmth. I may get me a rabbit or something, kind of whatever, dinosaur, whatever they were eating, right?
Each other, right?
So now I'm secure. Now the people outside that cave, right, are looking at my cave and said, "Damn, we need to take that nigga cave because we want to survive, right? And that's we can survive in there." Right. So it behooves me. Instead of like trying to fight them off, okay, a few of y'all come into my cave. Okay. We'll bond together. Okay. We may even share this mate of mine, right? Because it's male-driven stuff. We'll come into my cave, right? I'll share my cave with you, and then we can protect each other from a larger group of predators. Okay. Hence, you have societies. That's how societies evolve to me. Okay. And then it evolved along the line of, it became more brutal and more like you getting
Oh
landlords,
my
all kind of
goodness.
stuff.
Oh my goodness.
But,
Okay.
But now, in order to control people, as it progressed over generations, you evolve the knights, the knights, and the kings and all that. And what did they use to control the people in various forms?
I'm scared to say
Religion. And what happened when you didn't comply? They had the Inquisition, which was a brutal thing. They had the Crusades, which was brutal.
So I want to speak on that because this is the turn of, not even the turn of the century. This is the way civilization evolved.
Formulation of mindsets.
Okay. So fast forward 2017.
Right.
Do you watch The Walking Dead?
No, I don't watch none of that stuff.
Okay.
That's the
Well, I bring this show up because that's exactly the premise of The Walking Dead. How to control civilization in desperation.
That in desperation or not in desperation.
No. But this.
Yeah, but that's about desperation.
Because life and the structure of life
is survival.
Boom, boom, boom.
Because if you understand an instinct,
right?
Instinct, man is more propelled by learned behavior as opposed to instinct. Instinct, animals don't have learned behavior other than like if I got some food from here, I know I'll return back to there, I'll get some food, but that's driven by the instinct to eat, I guess. I think that we have to understand how we relate to the rest of the rest of life in terms of how life is propelled. All right, life is about one situation benefiting either collectively or at the expense of another situation. You watch. Sometimes trees they have trees and their roots will take over other growth situations and shut them out. Sometimes the predator, the word that we use, to talk about things like this is like predation and the predators. Like you watch something as beautiful as a cheetah, but it's and a cheetah will run down something like a gazelle, all right, and devour it, take it back to its family, and feed its family with that. We do that, but we do it in a way that we do not have to be directly involved in it. We go to the supermarket, and eat a chicken, as opposed to run out there and snatch the chicken, and but there was a point in time where we were driven in the same way, but we had the benefit of intellect and realization and awareness, and self-awareness. So we became, a different type of species. But there's the basic instinct in every species is the need to survive. All right, the need to procreate. Why do you think sex feels so good? It's about making sure that we do that, all right? so that we can perpetuate the society.
That's why it feels so good to make sure we do it.
Yeah. That's
Do you find that with that realization that you are at a level of peace, or do you feel that you're still at a level of internal turmoil that your people are not further along?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the realization doesn't always control the behavior. A lot of times, behavior is a result of indoctrination and becomes habitual.
What's the one lesson that you know now that you wish you knew 40 years ago, 50 years ago?
50 years ago. Okay.
Wow,
that would make me. but I would say 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
I would just being more self-aware.
Okay.
All right.
Self-aware of things around you, or self-aware of
self-aware
yourself?
of me. All right.
Okay.
Self-aware of me and my relation to the environment.
Okay.
All right? My relation to other people. my relation to females and relationships, right? That has been a big area for me, right? In that, if you don't understand relationships and you get the perception from the street, right, or from what I consider the wrong or I'm trying to think of the word, the opposite of empowering. A debilitating message, right? Then you miss out on so much, in my opinion. I saw my mother and father; they were affectionate, and I saw them share. They had their arguments, but I saw them. It was more affection based than
really
argumentative. But but when my father died, I was like 10, 11 years old, so I didn't have the tools to process that. He didn't have the ability to teach me how to affect affection, how to to enjoy or participate in affection, and when as I got older, that's transmitted into sex, so what you do affectionately is you screw. That's affection, and commitment may keep you from being able to facilitate that on a wider scale, right? So you become promiscuous. You run around doing this, doing that, right? And what you miss out on is being able to immerse yourself in the beauty of a good relationship, right? Which I've come to find that through watching and talking to people and seeing people who have traveled that path, and how content and how connected they are. It's like it's so it's beautiful to me. That's my own shit. But I think that after having 3 kids with 3 different women, after finding myself conflicted because I feel I can love more than one woman. I'm friends with my kids' mothers, all right? And one of the oldest mother is deceased, but the two younger kids, their mothers are still living. And we're friends, and I don't, because I love somebody in one way doesn't take away from loving somebody in another way, but it's about saying, okay, well, I'm committing to this particular structure of love, or to this, to this context, and that has been a real difficult journey for me. And a lot has to do with self-esteem and self-awareness and self-perception, feeling that you can facilitate a relationship. Am I good enough to? Wow, she's beautiful and she's intelligent. Am I good enough to maintain? Can I live up to her expectations? Can I live up to my expectations of what her expectations are? All right. Am I able to be responsible? They say a man's supposed to take care of his woman and do this and that, and can I do that? You start self-doubt, and then you get afraid to commit. I can't do that. Let me go, with Jane or Mary too, because that's fun. This may be work, So, but you come to that understanding. And all of these things, I think, impact on us culturally, because that was our initial, focus. Was,
right. How has it impacted us as a culture?
And I think things like mindset, self-perception, cultural self-perception, access to resources, the ability to survive on our own as a culture and not have to rely on the dominant culture to give us opportunity and give us, the survival mechanisms that we need.
That is how we started, yes.
Right. And I think all of this contributes in some way to our cultural journey. Because my ability to not facilitate good relationships had to do with self-esteem, which had to do with how I saw myself as a result of being the only black kid in a otherwise white environment, which created a lot of instances of pain, and doubt. So things are connected.
Yes.
Even though we might think what does that got to do with this?
Right. But
they're all part of our individual and collective journeys. And I think it's all related back to our ability to facilitate a survival that's fulfilling, that's meaningful, that's that has options, that that elevates us to a standard that we think is acceptable for us as individuals and collectively as a culture.
This is the movement.